Zach, can you take me through what your experience has been so far? Obviously undefeated both for Youth League and in the NBL one, and bouncing between both teams.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, playing the NBL one's a higher standard, but Youth League, we're in a pretty high division too, so it's been pretty good to, obviously stay undefeated with both teams, but yeah, can't really complain about much at the moment.
And can you tell me what it's been like, learning under Brendan Joyce and some of your teammates for the minors?
Yeah, well, obviously they have a ton of experience, so it's really good to be able to have their heads around developing me and telling me what to do, how to get to the next highest level.
And how confident are you, as a member of the Youth League team, that you guys can continue this form and ride it all the way out to a premiership?
Yeah, well, I definitely think we have a really strong team this year, so yeah, hopefully we can go as undefeated for as long as possible and get to the championship, go up to the next division there too. So yeah, hopefully we can just keep building on what we've already done.
And can you give us your impression so far on the Rush this season?
Well, they've probably had a couple of really tough games playing two of better teams in competition in Nunawading and Bendigo champions from last year. So, and I've coached some of the Bendigo girls, obviously with the Australian women's team, Callie Wilson and Tessa Lavey and Gabe Richards, so they're loaded, so that was a tough game, and I think I was really impressed with our girls. They were in it for 3.5 quarters, got within 6-7 points and just fell away at the end. So I could see the improvement with our Rush girls, and Shanice and Olivia getting better every day, understanding the style of play of what it is out here and adjustments to the referees. So, the more they play together, the better they're going to be. And to be honest, you want to play the good teams early, because I think that establishes that you need to improve quickly and what you need to bring to the table. So there's going to be wins coming for the Rush girls. I've been pretty impressed with them. They've just, probably had the unfortunate situation where we matched up against two of the better teams in the league. But they've held themselves in good account. And so what they've got to do is stay together and just keep working together. And they'll get it across the line soon.
And then you just touched on the imports, Shanice and Olivia. They were the top two scorers for the Rush. How important is it for them to be aggressive on the court and sort of lead by example?
Well, I think they worked that out after the first game. I think they just tried to fit in and do the right thing. And I actually spoke to Shanice personally and said, hey, you've got the skills, because I work them out, and you just got to be aggressive. And Eric and I had a discussion, so obviously Eric encouraged that. And, that's what we need from those girls. But we've also got Joy and we've got Lucy. They can both shoot the ball as bigs and they're long. So how we utilise them is pretty important with Shanice and Olivia. And then you throw in Laura Taylor, who's really working hard to improve herself and can shoot the ball. So that starting five is pretty good. And what we need is that the rest of the girls to step up and play their role so we can get across the line. So right now I still feel that they're going to get some wins on the board. They just got to keep it together.
Perfect. Good song. Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, Brendan, can you take me through what your impressions were from the big win over the weekend?
Oh, look, it was a really tough game, and we expected a tough game, and with the new import coming in for Bendigo, we knew we'd have something to prove. He knew Jerry and Marquis, so that's exactly what happened. And look, we come out of the blocks, and they came back, and it was a high-quality game, so I'm pretty happy about getting the win.
Massive performance from your starting guards, from Kwane and Sam. Can you talk me through a bit, how they work together and what it's like to get, 20 points from both of them?
Yeah, look, Kwane playing a lot of three right now. Sammy's playing one while Marquis is out, and he'll share the one role when Marquis comes back, 1 and 2. I actually like to play guards together. I don't like the saying of shooting guard, ball handling guard. You want everybody to shoot, you want everybody to handle the ball. So that's the ideal situation, and those two guys can do it. But Kwane and Sam have been pretty consistent the first two games, as is Jerry Evans. I mean, he had another 20 as well. So I'm pretty pleased with how the whole team's going, actually, considering, we haven't been together a long time and Marquis is yet to play with us.
Seemed, at least through the first 3 quarters, that Deng struggled a bit with Bendigo's size down low. Do you think that's going to be an issue or something that might hinder Deng against some of the bigger bigs?
It wasn't Deng that was struggling. It was Josh Fox and Jerry. They were the ones that were struggling with the big boy down there, Turner, because they were the guys guarding him. Deng was doing quite well against Andronicus to the point where they had to take him out of the game. And Deng's mobility up and down the court is a real factor, a real positive. Certainly when teams do get physical with him, which they will, right now we're working on, as you do with most big guys that are mobile, to rather than fight the contact, to release and use footwork. So that's just inexperience at the moment, but we're working on that with him every day, and that's the whole point of him being here and coming playing for us, is to improve that area so he can make the jump at higher levels. So, he still delivered 10 points and 8 boards and changed probably 6 or 7 shots, which doesn't count as block shots, but changed 6 or 7 shots, and that's what he brings to the game. He anchors our defence. So you've got to be, I guess everybody's got to look at the other side of it, what he brings to the table on the defensive end.
And we sort of touched on it before, obviously. Sam had a pretty calm, composed game. Can you speak to me a bit about his leadership role that, we've seen through the first 2 games of the season?
Yeah, I want him to be aggressive, number one. He's trying to make the jump to the NBL, and so he's got a point to prove. And, like with most of my players, I've been there. I know what it takes to be there in the NBL. I want these guys to play with a lot of aggression, a lot of confidence. So I've asked him to be aggressive, and that's what he's doing out there. The other side of the coin is obviously being the point guard, is to make sure he understands, what we need from a team perspective, and he's on the same page as us as a coaching staff. And he's doing a really good job with it. So, especially with the fact Marquise has been out, we haven't been able to spell him as much yet as what we'd like to. And I thought he fatigued, and there were some crucial turnovers that occurred when we had a lead, which allowed Ben to go back in the game. And I think that was mainly down to fatigue. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
And how is Marquise looking for this upcoming road trip?
They've said that he may play this week, but we just got to get through the week, engage it, and then we've got to buy. So we've really got to weigh up whether it's worthwhile bringing him back for this one game now, when we've got another week's break after it. And look, Dandenong have always been a really tough team to beat down there, and very well coached as well. I know Darren quite well, and they've got off to a pretty good start. I guess still the focus is more on us, trying to improve, and so we can play consistent basketball for 4 quarters. Like our first quarter was just electric, and give some credit to Bendigo. They came back and they got pretty assertive, but then we made adjustments as well. But we've got to do a better job of playing 4 quarters, and for us to be where we want to be, that's the improvement from this week that I look at. Is that we had a second quarter wasn't up to our standards, and so that allowed Bendigo to get back into the game. And from there on, we were in a tough game. So I'm expecting a lot of the same. Dandenong's a pretty good team. We're on the road. It's always tougher to win on the road, but we're actually setting ourselves a challenge of priding ourselves of having the ability to win on the road, which is what I've always challenged my teams throughout any competition to do. Because if you can win on the road, then you can start talking. There's a good chance you're going to make the playoffs and do well as well. So we'll just set ourselves the targets of what we need to do, like we have the previous 2 games. We're asking everybody to step up and play their role. We're getting that, whether it be 1 minute or 2 minutes. We want everybody to play their role hard and smart and give us whatever they've got, because sometimes the games are decided by just a few points, and pretty important that we get that commitment. I think I played 11 players the other night. And that comes about because the guy's in foul trouble right now. So there's still guys adjusted to the refereeing. So the contributions from everybody's pretty important. But as far as beating Dandenong, again, we're going to have to put 4 quarters together, and everyone's going to have to play their role.
And you touched on Bendigo a bit earlier. They've obviously got an eye in development, starting Dyson Daniels, 16-year-old. Can you tell me about your impressions of him, getting the primary matchup on Sam Short for a lot of the game?
Yeah, I really like him. I wanted to recruit him. After I watched him playing down the radars, they might have sniffed that out and decided to put him in the team. Really high quality kid. I think he has the potential to play in the NBA one day. I think in 4 years' time, obviously he's got to get stronger. He's got to continue to develop, but he's got great IQ for a 16-year-old. Forget about the skills, but really understands the game and make plays. And his dad was a pretty big guy, so the world's his oyster. He's going to end up going to college, and so he's going to be a really, really good player.